Another month, another reading wrap up. Hi everyone, it's Rose and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my September reading wrap up, so I'm going to take you through all the books I read this month and let you know what I rated them and what I thought about them. So this month was pretty disappointing. I read 11 books, which for me is my lowest month of the year so far in terms of books. And whilst I would love to talk about quality over quantity, in this case I found a 5-star read, but then a lot of these books were like 3 stars, 2 stars. It was not amazing other than that really, which is a little bit annoying, but let's get into it, I guess. The first book I read was The Heart Principle by Helen Hoang. I listened to this with my local library and I ended up rating it 3.5 stars. It is in one of my reading vlogs finishing series I'm in the middle of, the most recent one of those. As an autistic woman, I really loved the representation, especially in this one. It felt so connected to me, being diagnosed as an adult woman and having to come to terms with that and with the fact that you'd gone your whole childhood not knowing. I won't go into much more detail than that because I went into detail in that vlog and I don't want to repeat myself. But I did think something was missing. I'm not quite sure what was missing from the story. It is also a lot darker than I thought. I'd never heard of any of the content warnings, which is my own fault for not looking them up. But it really caught me off guard. Please do check content warnings. I rate this 3.5 stars. It was good. Not my favourite in the series. Then I read A Stranger in the House by Shari Lapena. I read this on my Kindle. If you're not new to this channel, you will know I absolutely adore Shari Lapena's writing. She is one of my favourite authors. I've now read her entire backlist. This was a 3.5 star, which I think is the lowest I've ever rated one of her books. Don't get me wrong, it was really good, but she has written so many that are better that I couldn't give it the same rating as those. It did have a really interesting premise, but I think usually what I love is how caught off guard I am with some of the plot twists in her books, and I did guess the main ones in this one, which is kind of what ruined it getting a high rating, but you know, 3.5 stars is still good and I really liked it. Then I read An Unwanted Guest, again by Shari Lapena. This one I gave 4 stars. I was immediately intimidated when I picked this up because I thought we were following so many characters. But as soon as you like get to the inn that they're all staying at, you immediately figure out who's who because they are all written like such different people. They are not just kind of put there for the sake of it. This is so good. This is my favourite type of thriller. It is a similar premise to The Guest List by Lucy Foley, which is the book that got me back into reading, and that's why that trope, I guess, will always have a special place in my heart. But basically, you're in an isolated place with a bunch of strangers or a bunch of people that are there for an event, and then you get stranded there for whatever reason and people will start dying. Like in The Guest List, they're stranded for a wedding on an island and it's too stormy to leave. In this one, they've all gone to this inn and then there's a snowstorm and there's a power outage and they can't get out and people start dying and you have to figure out who has motives, who it was, and it is not who you guess. Then I listened again to Hopeless by Elsie Silver. This was another finishing series I'm in the middle of in that same vlog. I rated this one 3 stars. I adore the Chestnut Springs series, but Hopeless along with Powerless was not a hit for me. Coming off of reading Reckless, nothing was ever going to top that or come close in my head anyway. I just felt like this book was really long. I did like the characters, but I didn't love them. And I don't know, I expected more from the last book in a series, but I still enjoyed it, don't get me wrong. But I rated it 3 stars because nothing can top Reckless. Or Flawless, or Heartless, honestly. I really liked them too. Then we have The Examiner by Janice Hallett. I rated this book 4.5 stars. This woman is a mastermind. All of her books are all told completely through mixed media, and the books, depending on what book you're reading, use different types of mixed media. This one is about 6 students and art, like uni course. So this is all told from like messenger boards and what's been written in reports about them and transcripts and emails, and everyone is bias. So you're like, who do I believe? As you can see, this is a like chat room, and it's like, who do I believe? Because I'm reading that this is happening, but that's how they've interpreted it, and if they're covering something up, I will never know because I don't get the outside story. The plot twists. This woman is incredible. I love Janice Hallett. The only books that I have left to read from her are The Appeal and The Christmas Appeal, and I'm trying to hold out, but they're on my October TBR and I just want to get to them right now. Read this book. Then we have Cross My Heart and Hope to Spy by Ali Carter. Again, continuing series I'm in the middle of reading vlog that is out now. This was so fun. It is on the younger side of young adult. This is the second book in the Gallagher Girls series. I can never say that word fast. Gallagher Girls. It is a boarding school for bright young women, and they're trained as spies, but it's a secret. But it's so many amazing themes of female friendship and female empowerment and women loving and supporting each other, and it is just so good. I rated it 3.5 stars. It gives me that nostalgic feeling of reading as a kid. Even though I never read these as a kid, it still gives me that, like, transporting me back to that time. I think I would have loved this so much as a kid, and I'm so sad I didn't know it existed. I don't even know if it was published when I was younger, but so good. Then I read Born Darkly by Trisha Wolfe, and when I tell you, I was so surprised. This book was 4.5 stars. It was so weird and messed up, but so thrilling. Like, there is so much suspense and mystery and plot to it. It is a dark romance, and one of the guys is a serial killer on death row, basically, and you learn how gruesome this man is. I honestly, like, I should be reading the second one, but I don't know why I'm putting it off, because it is a duet and, like, it ends on a cliffhanger. But I don't know if I'm ready to pick it up yet, because I just don't think I'll love it as much as I loved this first one, because I don't love them because they're a couple now. They're not. I don't know how to say it without spoiling it, but I loved the dynamic and, like, the trial stuff in this book. I wasn't there for the relationship, I was there for the thriller side of it. Then the last book I read in that continuing series video, I'll stop talking about it now, is Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher. Lauren Asher, one of my favourite authors. I've read everything from her and never rated anything less than 4 stars. This falls into the 4-star category. I love long romance books. I do not agree with people who say romance books shouldn't be longer than 300 pages. Give me 700. I don't care. If there's enough content, I am there for it. This book's over 600 pages, and the issue was that it did not have enough content for it. So it felt slow, it felt so repetitive, it felt like more should have happened and nothing really did. However, I adore Miss Lauren Asher. I adore the way she writes. I love her characters, and I could not rate it less than 4 stars because I still had such a good time. If it was maybe 150 pages less, or if we'd had some more plot twists going on, this could have easily been a 5-star. Please don't hate me for what I am about to say next, but I read a novel love story by Ashley Poston, and I rated it 2 stars. I loved The 7-Year Slip. I liked The Dead Romantics. Nothing happened in this book. I didn't like the main female character. I didn't like her love interest. I don't think they should have ended up together. I liked how she left the town. If you know, you know, and I think that should have just been it. Sometimes people aren't meant to fall for each other. Sometimes it's just not meant to be. There was no chemistry. I felt like it... I can't say more, but it felt so flat. I was so disappointed. And fortunately, because it was one of my most anticipated releases, I'm gonna stop talking about it now and move on. Now, speaking of Janice Hallett, the mastermind, I read The Twyford Code by her, and this was my 5-star read. Oh my goodness, I can't even tell you why it's a 5-star read. This whole book is basically a code. That is all I'll tell you. I mean, obviously the Twyford Code, but like, when you realise how everything adds up at the end, you will realise how much of a genius this woman is. Speaking of how she uses mixed media, This book is entirely told with 200 audio file transcripts of a man that has been talking into his phone. He is severely dyslexic. He never learned how to write, which is why he's talking into his phone, and he only learned how to read when he was in prison. So, getting that out of the way, you're trying to uncover a code, and the only person's perspective you're getting it from is someone who is severely dyslexic and has only learned to read in this specific way that he was taught, where he finds codes in letters and numbers to make them make sense. So you don't know if he's being reliable. He was also in prison for a long time and has a very shady background. So you, again, no clue if this man is reliable or not. It is so good how you have to try and piece things together when you have no clue if you should trust what you're reading. This blew me away. 5 stars, perfection. Janice Hallett, please bring more books out. Oh my goodness. And I ended the month up in a disappointing way. I read Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey. I rated this book 2 stars. This book was trying to be Rachel Harrison. Maybe it wasn't intentionally, but it read like it was trying to be. Now, I love Rachel Harrison. She writes horror, but it's not... It's more... There's some satirical things thrown in there. There's some humour thrown in there. That's what this was trying to do, but it fell so flat. I absolutely hated the ending and how the last 30 pages happened. It felt so cliche, like something you would put in a really cliche cringy horror movie, because it's like, of course that's your only answer, is to bring that into it, kind of thing. It was so annoying. I rolled my eyes at this book. I think if you like really slow books, you might like this. I don't know. I'm returning this back to the library tomorrow because it just wasn't for me. But those are the 11 books I read in September. I'm hoping I'm not going to have any delays in videos, but I currently have COVID. I've only just caught it, so I'm not too bad today, but I can feel myself getting sicker. My dad and brother both have COVID, and I live with them both, and they got it a few days before me. They were like this a few days ago, and now they are not doing great. So if there is a bit of silence on my end, that is why. I am okay. I'm just taking a break from recording for a little bit, but I have pre-recorded a few videos just in case, so hopefully there won't be any lack from me. And if anything good can come out of having COVID, I have a lot of time to read, so maybe I'll make a reading vlog about being sick and reading at home. I don't know. Let me know if you want to see that. But that is everything, I guess. If you'd like to see more from me, please be sure to like and subscribe as I post new videos every single week. Click the notification bell down below to get notified when I upload. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you in another video. Bye!